Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, for this video right here, I want to talk about this whole controversy over this Nunes memo. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this story, I will include links in the description box to various articles detailing information about this story. Also, I will include an article from the Atlantic that provides the full text for this Nunes memo so that you can read it for yourself. But basically, here's the situation. You have an intelligence committee, this highly partisan now, where you have the Democrats on one side, the Republicans on another side, and it's basically very dysfunctional. Instead of working collectively for the good of this country, these people are fighting with one another, and you have a Trump administration trying to use this committee to suppress or to derail this investigation that's going on. As you all know, the Trump administration is being investigated for allegedly colluding with the Russians during the presidential election. So you have this memo that comes out, and the committee votes along party lines to release the memo. And then Donald Trump, over the objections of the FBI, decided to release the memo to the public so the public can read the memo. And Donald Trump is boasting that this memo exonerates him, and it doesn't. And I'm going to tell you basically what's in the memo. The memo is basically about the investigation of Carter Page. Now, the FBI went to the FISA courts to obtain warrants to investigate him, to monitor him. And the FISA courts, that stands for Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. That's an act that allows the government to monitor people who are suspected of working as foreign agents. Now, this guy, Carter Page, has various contacts with the Russians. During the Trump campaign, he served as a foreign policy advisor. This man has traveled to Russia on many occasions, had many contacts with Russians, and that raised suspicions. So the FBI went to the FISA courts to obtain warrants to monitor this guy. And now in this memo, basically they're saying that the FBI did not fully disclose where they got their information from. To be more specific, they basically say that the FBI failed to disclose the fact that they got most of their information from a dossier. And that dossier was collected and put together by a Democratic operative by the name of Christopher Steele. He was hired by the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign, according to this memo, to gather information about Donald Trump that would be used to undermine Donald Trump. So they put together this collection of information, basically talking about ties between Donald Trump and the Russians, alleging some kind of collusion and all that kind of stuff. And basically, that's what, according to this memo, the FBI and the Justice Department relied upon when they went to get those warrants, but they failed to disclose this information to the courts when they obtained those warrants, according to this memo. This guy, according to this memo, Christopher Steele was paid $160,000 by the DNC and the Clinton campaign to obtain this information about Donald Trump. And basically, they're saying, well, this was a partisan witch hunt, and the FBI failed to disclose this. And for that reason, this whole investigation was faulty and is tainted and, is just another partisan attack to undermine the president. So that's basically what the memo is about in a nutshell. There's more to it than that, but that's a brief summary of the main point of the memo. Now, when this memo was released, Donald Trump had no problem with the classified information being released. But now, the Democrats have prepared their own memo rebutting some of the points raised in the Republican memo. They contest these allegations about, this particular information not being provided to the courts. They contest, various other things contained in Nunes' memo. So what you have is a partisan fight. And basically, instead of the committee, the intelligence committee working as one for the benefit of the American people, you have partisan fighting. within that committee. You have a dysfunctional committee. And basically, this is the situation. You had this guy, Representative Nunes, who is nothing but a lapdog for the Trump administration. He is nothing but an errand boy for the Trump administration, a shoeshine boy for the Trump administration, uh, a flunky of the Trump administration. That's what he is. And, basically his whole mission was to try to help Trump derail this investigation that's going on against him. And that's become apparent based on Donald Trump's response to this Democratic memo. Like, unlike the situation involving this Republican memo, Donald Trump has a completely different approach. He is talking about, well, we can't release it now because it contains classified information. It needs to be redacted and this and that. But he didn't have that same approach when it came to that partisan Republican memo. And also, one thing that's very telling about this situation is the timing of this decision. Donald Trump made this decision not to release this Democratic memo on a Friday night when most people are not paying attention to the news. Most people are enjoying their time with their family and loved ones. The last thing that they're worried about is watching some news. And this is over the weekend. So most people are not going to give this the kind of attention that it merits, because this exposes that all this man is trying to do is suppress the truth. All this man is trying to do is undermine that investigation that's going on. And he obviously has something to hide, man. This Trump administration has been dishonest from the beginning. You had all these people talking about they did not have contacts with these Russians. But person after person has been exposed as a liar. You have many people in this Trump administration that have contacts with these Russians, who have met with Russian officials despite denying it earlier. You have some of these Trump administration officials who've been indicted. Some of them have pled guilty, and some of them are cooperating with the authorities. But they want to make us believe that there was no collusion, that there was nothing going on, nothing wrong going on, even though you have a situation where Donald Trump's own son met with Russians hoping to get damaging information about Hillary Clinton during the campaign. So there's a lot going on, and I hope that this report is released. Donald Trump is trying to suppress it, but I hope that there's pushback and that report actually gets released. And the fact that Donald Trump's own lawyers don't want him to talk to the investigators says a lot. First of all, they think that Donald Trump is not going to be able to tell the truth. This man constantly lies. And they're afraid that he may get caught up in a situation where he can be indicted for perjury. Because according to the Washington Post, this man has made over 1,000 false claims during his first year in the White House. This man constantly contradicts himself. One minute he's saying one thing, the next minute he's saying the complete opposite. He's been caught up in so many lies. This man can't be trusted. His word means absolutely nothing. Instead of following the same process he used for that Nunes memo, he's doing something completely different. And that should raise all kinds of suspicions about this whole situation. So those are my thoughts about this. Tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.